Hello, and welcome to episode 149 of Dude and a Monkey. My name is Ian Loring, and as always, I am joined by...
Mark Foster. Hello, everybody.
And this week we... well, to be fair, the feature review's probably not going to take too much time. We're going to be looking at The Forest, the Natalie Dormer starring horror. Because there was nothing else out this weekend.
There really wasn't.
Grimsby, nah. So, but we're going to be talking some Oscars, so and some what we watched and whatnot. So we'll have enough to justify a show, I think.
Easily, yeah.
Yeah. So, I will say as well, I am on the Untapped Breweries UPA tonight.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Untapped Pale Ale.
What's it like?
It's fragrancy as fuck.
Yeah, the Untapped stuff often is.
And it kind of tastes like if you put like 25% of the drink was cider into a pale ale. It's really weird.
Yeah, it does sound a little bit strange. I think I've had that one before, though, and it is a little bit peculiar.
Yeah.
Lingers.
Yeah, it does. It's not bad. I think it's an acquired taste. I don't know whether I'd particularly choose it again, but if someone bought me a pint, I think I'd be fine with it.
Yeah, I think that was pretty much how I felt about it.
But 4.5%, so it's okay.
Yeah.
And so dudeandamonkey@gmail.com, at Ian Loring, at dudefoz, at dudeandamonkey. Mark, anything been happening this week that you want to get off your chest?
No, it's all Oscars. It's been all Oscars pretty much this week, hasn't it? Let's be honest. It's everything's been a build up to that. Really, I think there's a fair amount to discuss. I think from the event itself.
Oh, and by the way, I think I finally nailed the video. So hopefully this should be in split screen and shouldn't be nearly as jerky as last week. Technical issues with that on my end, but this should hopefully hopefully this will be how it stays now. So sorry, you got more in my face and less in Mark's. So, which is very likely not a win. It's very much a loss. So let's do some trailers.
Yep.
What trailers have you seen this week?
Well, before I do trailers. Have you seen the TV spots yet for Batman vs Superman?
I think I saw one the other day, yeah.
Have you seen the Turkish airline ones yet?
No. What?
I swear to God, Turkish Airlines are the official flight sponsor of of Batman vs Superman.
Flight sponsor?
Yeah, official airline of the film,
okay.
Right? Their adverts there's two of them. They've done an advert for Turkish Airlines saying they are now flying to Gotham City, and Batman is, Bruce Wayne is like the star of the advert,
yeah.
And they're the one flying now to Metropolis, and Lex Luthor is the sort of star of that advert, and they're done just like normal like airline adverts. As if they're going to a new destination is Gotham City, and a new destination is Metropolis.
So what does it does say like Batman versus Superman at the end though?
At the end, yeah, the advert finishes and then it comes up Batman versus Superman. But right. Yeah, they're done properly as just like adverts, which we've not seen before, and it's actually really very clever, to be honest. It's quite amusing when it first started. I was like, what? All right, really, an airline? Oh, you got a Gotham? That's fucking weird. When's it going to be kind of like the laugh moment? But no, it is done poker straight on both of them. So that was quite peculiar.
I'm sure I will see it. I mean, it comes out in just over 3 weeks, and I've got a feeling the marketing here on in is just going to be incessant,
Yeah, trailers-wise, not that many, because I think with it being Oscars, they've just not really bothered, this week. Mm-hmm. The Light Between the Oceans, the new Derek Cianfrance film, starring Alicia Vikander, Michael Fassbender, and Rachel Weisz. Terrible title, The Light Between Oceans.
To be fair, The Place Beyond the Pines is an amazing title.
No, it's not. No, I'm in because of the cast and because of the director. The trailer is a little bit ploddy. Makes it look very bleak.
It's pretty wishy-washy, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. But then again, based on the people that are in it and the guy who's wrote it and directed it, I am very much on board.
Yes.
The Man Who Knew Infinity, Dev Patel and Jeremy Irons, in a trailer that was so boring, I switched off about 30 seconds into it, to be honest. And that's a fucking trailer. So yeah, I won't be watching that ever. And the other one I watched was Maggie's Plan, the Julianne Moore, Greta Gerwig, Ethan Hawke, Bill Hader, Maya Rudolph comedy. Have you seen anything about this?
No. I know of it, but I haven't seen the trailer. How does it look?
It looks like one of those films that it is going to be nowhere near as funny as it thinks it is.
Okay.
It's done a little bit. It's definitely not going for... It's almost going for like a screwball comedy kind of thing, which is a bit weird, which could either work really, really well and could be fantastic, or it could be one of those ones where you finish watching it and you go, I know who's going to like this. Or no, I know the sort of people who are going to say they like this, rather than people who are going to actually like it.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll give it a go. It looks... The first half of it is a bit dull, but then the second half you start to go, do you know what, there might be something there.
Okay.
Have you seen anything?
Yeah, just the teaser for Pete's Dragon, which is...
I saw that as well, yeah.
Yeah, this is interesting. It's I think it's written and directed by David Lowery, who did Ain't Them Body Saints, which is... It's interesting. It's like the guy who did Listen Up Philip. I think Alex Ross Perry, I think his name is. Like he's writing the new Winnie the Pooh film.
Yeah.
And it's like this really weird like thing that Disney seem to be doing of just getting unexpected directors in to like Kenneth Branagh with Cinderella even, you know.
Yeah.
So it looks, I don't know. There's not much to it, in fairness.
No, there's not.
I don't think I've ever seen Pete's Dragon, the original, and I was kind of surprised that this looks like it's modern day and in a somewhat realistic setting, which I think is interesting.
Yeah.
It's been raised before, but the poster looks so very much like the Where the Wild Things Are poster. It's untrue.
Yes, it does.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm intrigued enough. We'll see. It's out in August. It could be an interesting late summer thing, or it could just be... It looks like it could either be a surprise, or it could just be a maudlin, melancholy, slightly boring piece, and I'm not too sure which way it's going to go.
It looks like it'd be one of those films that makes 350 million, yet you'll know nobody that's been to see it.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. But that's it for me, actually.
Yeah, that's all I caught. Like I say, it was a quiet week, I think, with Oscars happening. Hollywood had other shit to think about.
So, I'll tell you what, I mean, shall we talk Oscars and then maybe do The Forest more as a kind of like part of what we watched, and we'll just both talk about
that? Yeah, I'm happy to do that. Yeah.
Cool. So, Mark actually stayed up for the Oscars.
I did indeed.
His wife made him.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I was going to anyway. To be honest, I was always going to watch it. You know, it's one night a year, so you know, and I had the day off today anyway, so it was all right for me, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, if I wasn't like work commitments, I would have done the same, and I plan on staying up for it next year. It literally was. They needed me to actually be in work and kind of on it today, so it was what it was. But I watched some highlights this morning at least. So, right, the opening monologue, pretty much spot on.
It was, yeah, it was fantastic. I mean, Chris Rock was kind of like the perfect guy to have hosting this year because, you know, I mean, for a start off, there's the obvious thing of the fact that he's a very successful black entertainer. Stand-up comedian, incredibly successful, a successful writer, a successful actor. Really, you've got to look at that. And also now a director, and so there's that. But he's also a very smart guy. He's very socially smart as well. Not just socially aware, but socially smart. So he tackled it in the perfect way of he tackled the issue and tackled it head on, which is how I think was the best way to do it. He explained his position of it from the way that he looks at it, but he also then did kind of point the finger and go, but do you know what? You've blown it all fucking out this year. You've latched onto it, and essentially, called a few people out. The calling Will Smith and Jada Pinkett
Smith out. Yeah, that was stunning.
That was clearly something that kind of annoyed him in the sense that let's be honest, Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith, well, Jada Pinkett Smith mainly, kind of chucked all of her toys out of the pram because her husband didn't get nominated for a film that nobody fucking cares about, that no fucker has seen. Kind of chucked everything out because she was pissed off that he didn't get nominated, but then blamed it on, used this as an excuse to have like a little hissy fit. And I think Chris Rock was quite right in calling that. I thought it was a fantastic one. What I will say is it was great that he dealt with it there, and it continued to be a theme throughout. But when it went to every skit was about it, he started to get a little bit like, is there anything else, or is this it? Because you've kind of already dealt with this, but you keep on going at it. But in saying that, this is also flew by. 3 hours 40 minutes, and it really did zing by. It was a very well paced Oscars. There was enough sort of skits within it, and it flowed quite nicely. It worked quite well, I thought, as a whole. Because sometimes it can drag on sometimes.
Yeah, but, I mean, how was like the middle section? Because I know that the Oscarbations that we've done in the past, it seems like they get through quite a lot of awards in like the first hour or so, and then it's not that many for about an hour and a half, and then they just speed through them towards the end. I mean, how was it this time?
No, it wasn't this time, to be honest. The awards pretty much came at decent kind of intervals. Because I know we commented that they got through last year. They got through a bunch of awards really fucking quickly.
Yeah.
They didn't this year. It was more spaced out. So you got your opening sort of awards to the start. So they start off with the screenplays and supporting actress, and then they moved on to the technical awards, but they interspersed it with where they talk about the best pictures nominations throughout, and then you had sort of all. Then it came into cinematography was done quite early as well, and then it brought it in sort of actress and director and actor and picture. It was a lot better paced, I think. It was a lot better spread out than previous ones. And the musical numbers kind of dropped at the right times, I thought. And the skits didn't go on too long. They were very much the opening monologue was long and long enough, and told everything. But Rock kind of gave up a little bit of his time to allowing essentially the presentation of the awards, so the people who are presenting the awards, so have a little bit of time themselves. So they did little skits, and that worked out quite a lot better in some cases. In some cases, it was brutal and quite painful, to be honest.
The Sacha Baron Cohen and Olivia Wilde thing
was awful.
Yeah,
it was literally it was so misjudged. It was a character that was dated in 1999, Ali G. He has no place in modern comedy, and it very much does seem like Sacha Baron Cohen is kind of. He's been given so much rope that he has absolutely hung himself on it now. Grimsby has received horrible reviews from everyone who's seen it. It would seem,
apart from Robbie Collin for the Telegraph, and I think the Independent as well. Whoever reviews for the Independent seems quite like it as well. But yeah.
What I would say is take out, let's say, exactly the same film, exactly the same dialogue, everything is the same, except that's not Sacha Baron Cohen, it's Lee Francis doing a new character.
Yeah.
Right? Then they don't care.
Yeah.
That's it. He gets a lot of credence because he did a very good satire with Borat. Was an entertaining satire, but let's be honest, Ali G had him getting blown by a dog called Tupac. It was a terrible movie. The Dictator was an absolute piece of shit, as was Bruno. So he's not got form. He gets a lot of kind of leeway simply for the fact that he's Sacha Baron Cohen, which you kind of got to look at and go, how has he earned all of this? So that was terribly misjudged. But other ones worked really well. The Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling one, have you seen that yet?
No, I've heard
that was
it was
fantastic.
Good.
Essentially, they come on and they start presenting the award, and Ryan Gosling says, we've got 2 Academy Awards between us. And Russell Crowe goes, "Oh, have you won an Academy Award?" And he goes, "No." He's like, "Well, I've got 1." He goes, "No, you've got 2." He said, "No, I've got 1." He's like, "No, I don't think you do. I think you've got 2." He said, "Yeah, but you've not got any, so we'd still only have one or 2 as you think it is between us. I've got them, but you haven't got any." He went, "Yeah, but we're doing this as a team, so we've got 2 between." Yeah. And the patter was fantastic, and it made you look at it and go, I want to see the nice guys now.
Yeah,
I want to see it now. So that works out well. Jared Leto and Margot Robbie was amusing. Sarah Silverman seemed like, because she presented Sam Smith singing that terrible song that won an award, which I was actually happy about, which I'll give reasons for later on when we go through all the awards. But all she did was basically bitch and moan about the misogyny of Bond, which felt a little bit like, couldn't you just given it to somebody else and given her something else? Because it's kind of a little bit, you've got Sam Smith, who I can't stand really. And
that's a fucking weird pairing, that Sarah Silverman introducing a Bond song.
Yeah, and it felt a little bit. It felt a little bit like mean-spirited, is what it felt like. It felt like she'd picked that so she could complain about something, because that's kind of her shtick. And I don't mind Sarah Silverman, but yeah, that felt a little bit, what's it? Emily Blunt looked blazed. Looked like, quite literally, I think I put on that looked like she'd smoked too many blunts, because her eyes were just glazed over. That was quite amusing. Benicio del Toro was squinting so much that he could barely read. Yeah, it was a good show, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So,
have you seen the Tracy Morgan Danish Girl thing yet?
No.
They did like a little kind of like video thing where they talked about how they could get black actors into these prestige pictures. So, the scene where Joy's introducing the mop in Joy for the first time on QVC.
When it all goes wrong, you mean? Or...
Yeah, then Whoopi Goldberg behind her, essentially talk as if she's talking to her using a mop. And then one of the scenes in The Danish Girl was, instead of it being Eddie Redmayne, it was Tracy Morgan in a dress, stroking himself, eating a Danish.
No, okay.
Which was fantastic. So there was moments like that really worked. And Louis C.K.'s introduction for best dramatic short, best documentary short, was magnificent. He basically came out and said, here all you people, you go home with your, with your little men or whatever, all you millionaires are going to go home to your big mansions. He said, I'm presenting an award for best documentary short. These people are doing it for the love of it. These people are going to make no money ever. So this is the first Academy Award that's going home in a Honda Civic. Basically, just went off on one, and it was fantastic. And it quite literally, you went, do you know what? If the Oscars had any balls, he'd be presenting it next year. But I don't think they'd quite go that far, because Chris Rock was fantastic, and he is he's about as far towards controversy as they'll go, but they know they can keep him kind of reined in a little bit. Whereas Louis C.K. they wouldn't. He'd just say whatever the fuck he thought.
Yeah. Oh.
What else was there?
Jesus Christ! I mean, it's so weird that one year that it was James Franco and Anne Hathaway.
Yeah,
like that was. I can't believe that happened.
Well, it's funny because I think you're best off going for. I mean, Hugh Jackman was very good when he did it. He was very good. But I think you're best off going for a comedian. You know, the 80s, Billy Crystal presented most of them, and he was fantastic at it. Chris Rock was very good. I thought Neil Patrick Harris tried too hard last year. But yeah, I wouldn't have a problem next year if Chris Rock did it again. And Chris Rock joked that Kevin Hart was going to do it next year because he keeps stealing all of his roles.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't surprise you if Kevin Hart did do it next year, to be honest. And it'd be fine. It'd be amusing. But I think that's the kind of the sort of the folks they want to get doing it. Let's face it, next couple of years, The Rock's going to present it.
Oh my God, how good would that be, though?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Even though then again,
because he
wouldn't be coming up with the material by himself, though. Like he could perform it, but.
Yeah, but you know he'd probably do the opening monologue dressed as a giant Oscar. So that was good. But should we dip into the actual awards and go through the awards themselves?
Yeah. So I mean, I'm having a look at a list here, and it's amazing. I mean, apart from Mad Max, which fair play got 6 out of its 10 nominations.
Yeah.
Which is mental. Yeah, it was all technical, but good on it. It's amazing how spread out it was, and it was a really open year, and nothing.
It was, yeah.
You know, there were a few categories, but like a lot of the categories, it didn't feel like there was a particular favourite. So, I mean, fair play. Out of the big films, The Revenant, Mad Max, Bridge of Spies, Spotlight, The Big Short, The Danish Girl, Room, Hateful Eight, Ex Machina, Inside Out, all got at least one.
Yeah.
You know, I mean that's a pretty good spread. And I mean there were some shutouts. I mean, we have had this debate, but Carol not getting anything, I was annoyed by. I'll be honest.
Well, when we go through the actual awards themselves, you can kind of say which one you think it should have got.
Okay, so I'm just going by a list on the Guardian website. I'm just going to do it in that order. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's cool. I'll find it as we go.
I've got a feeling this might actually be in the running order as well. So, best original screenplay.
Best original screenplay. I mean, that went to Spotlight. Yeah. I mean, that was pretty much nailed on, I think. It was always going to be Spotlight for that. There was no real kind of massive surprise.
No, I mean, I could have maybe seen if they really were being democratic. I could have seen Bridge of Spies maybe eking that out just so they gave it something. But, you know, I mean, fair play. Best Spotlight, first award and last award of the night. And then it's just nothing in between. Like, I wonder how... like in play as such, how the odds on Spotlight changed as the night went on.
The odds, it was always pretty much second favourite throughout, really. But it seemed to be it shocked a few people. But for instance, on Sky's coverage. Boyd Hilton and the I can't remember Helen thingy from Empire Magazine.
Oh, Helen O'Hara.
Yeah, they both had Spotlight. They both predicted Spotlight was going to win Best Picture. I'll be honest. I put £2 on Spotlight winning it, and made money on it. And I only put on two. I put money on 2 Best Picture winners, and it was Spotlight and. No, I didn't, to be honest. I just had a feeling it wasn't going to win it for some reason. I thought it'd pick up cinematography and director and Leo would win, but I didn't think it'd been Best Picture. But then I thought I think Spotlight's going to win it, but I also looked at the odds for Mad Max and just went, do you know what? It's not going to win it. But I have so much good feeling towards that film that I'm going to put a few quid on it, just because if it does, not only am I elated that it's won it, I get to have some money as well. I don't want like 240 quid or something stupid like that. And at one point I was starting to go, ooh.
It did, yeah.
But as soon as we'll get to the director. Yeah,
I woke up about 3:15 in the morning, this morning, and I couldn't get to sleep. So I was looking at like a live blog.
Yeah.
And they were just saying, Mad Max is doing well. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was. But it wasn't to be, unfortunately.
So, Best Adapted Screenplay, Adam McKay is now an Oscar winner.
Yes, yeah.
Holy shit.
It's weird, but do you know what? It's cool in that a few directors have kind of, he's no longer pigeonholed as being a filmmaker, I suppose, not as much director, but he's no longer pigeonholed as being purely comedic. Although I do think The Big Short is as much kind of a comedy as it is anything else. It's in a very serious story, but in the way that McKay can kind of tell things with that punch and that spark and that zip. Again, I think that was one that was probably a bit of a nailed on. Not an absolute certainty, but out of those, that was the one I thought would win it, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, he feels like a filmmaker now who, up to a certain limit, has a blank check to do whatever he wants. $20 million, budget, or $30 million. I think they'd just be like, do what you want, bud. Whether it be comedy or dramatic, it feels like... I'm going to be very intrigued to see what McKay does next, because he's going to be doing some writing on Ant-Man and the Wasp, but he hasn't announced what his next directorial feature is going to be, and it's going to be interesting to see whether he doubles down on the actually trying to be a somewhat dramatic filmmaker, or if he goes back and just does something with Will Ferrell, and I'd be fine with either.
I could see him doing that. I could see him going, do you know what? I went out there, I showed, I told a story I wanted to tell, which is what he did with The Big Short. He told a story about something he's quite passionate about, but I could see him now going, do you know what? This isn't me stepping up a level. This was me taking the way I do things somewhere else. I'll go back. You could see him turn around and going, oh, do you know what? I've got like you say, that blank check up to about sort of $40 million. Yeah, Step Brothers 2.
Yeah. Oh,
you could see that Step Brothers 2 as something like that, and in bringing along Gosling and fucking what is it? There's one. Step Brothers 2, but it doesn't have Will Ferrell and what's it in it, and John C. Reilly. It's Christian Bale and Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
But just a remake, but with them two.
That would be wonderful.
It would, yeah.
That would be wonderful. Oh my god. Best Supporting Actress. So it did kind of feel like it was going to be Alicia Vikander.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's. I mean, I haven't seen The Danish Girl. It's one that there's always one where you look at it and you go, really should watch that. But then it just looks horrible.
Yeah, that and 45 Years, and I feel bad about 45 Years as well, because I do want to watch that. But
yeah, I do.
It just, yeah, I just couldn't do it, and especially once I knew I wasn't actually going to watch the Oscars, I was just like, fuck it. If I was, I probably would have watched it, but now, frankly, it's all past, and now I'm thinking, I could probably never watch The Danish Girl. I'm okay with that.
I'm at that, because frankly, I just don't care.
I mean, I had money on Rooney Mara, but I would have quite liked Kate Winslet or Jennifer Jason Leigh, to be fair. I mean, Rachel McAdams with Spotlight, she was good in it. It didn't feel like she particularly had much to do.
To be honest, any of those, I think it would have been deserved winners. To be honest, yeah. I haven't seen Alicia Vikander, so I can't really comment on that. But out of the other ones, I mean, the fact is, Alicia Vikander, it's a lead role, not a supporting role.
To be fair, Rooney Mara, I think, is equally as lead role in Carol.
You can absolutely argue that. So I think any of those, they were all strong performances. I think much as the same as There's a lot of them. There was not a lot of weak categories, to be honest. But yeah, I think it was a strong category. I think Alicia kind of as much won it for that as she did for essentially the year that she had. You know, she had a stunning year with the Danish Girl, with Ex Machina, with The Man from U.N.C.L.E., and there was a few more within that as well.
Testament of Youth.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a strong year for her.
No, I mean, fair play to her. And then next was a bit of a brace for Mad Max: costume design, production design, best makeup and hair. Fair enough.
Yeah, absolutely fair enough. Deserved to win all of them. Yeah.
Cinematography, Chivo actually did it 3 out of 3.
Yeah, which was the kind of the term where you sort of went, okay, that's that. So maybe the Revenant is gonna. That was the one where I thought, okay, now I'm less confident that Mad Max might spring a surprise and take Best Picture.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, like to be fair, after cinematography, I mean, I bet Tarantino was spitting fucking feathers. You know? But
yeah. I mean, you can kind of see why, but then again, I don't know. It's a funny one, really, because they're all ridiculously good-looking movies. In that category, it was a really strong category, to be honest. What was interesting about the film was the fact that it used something that had hardly ever been used. It was a way of shooting, you know, that had maybe, I think, been used 13 other times, I think, and it had not been used for near 60 years. So there's another level of technical kind of craft that's there. But then again, should that influence or not? It's a little bit whether or not it should. And you know, The Revenant's is an incredibly shot movie. It's a great looking movie. Not only is it a great looking movie, as a technical feat of achievement for the way it's shot. I think a lot of the more technically minded and more technically astute and more technically influenced voters for that will very much have looked at The Revenant and gone, well, look at that, look at this, and look at the way this does, and look at the way this does. So I think it's strange 3 in a row for him. Is a hell of an achievement, really.
I mean, I've got a feeling whatever Roger Deakins shoots this year, he's going to win for next year.
Well, yeah, we've got a question later on in the show which actually asks us about the fact that Leo just won. We might as well cover it now because I think we're both going to say the same thing. Who's the next big one to finally get that fucking, what is it? And it's Deakins, isn't it? Let's be honest. Deakins, what's that, his 13th nomination, not won one?
I'm going to see what he's actually got doing this year. Because I know he shot Hail Caesar, but it feels like that was too early and hasn't made him enough of an impression to be considered, really. But I'll see what he's doing. God, if he was shooting that The Birth of a Nation film, he'd fucking win it next year. But because that film's going to win everything next year. But
yeah, it's Deakins is due on because he's been frequently, you know, one of the best cinematographers the past 20 odd years. Let's be honest.
He's got nothing planned. Hail Caesar, and the next credit is Blade Runner 2.
There'll be some he'll do.
Yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah, there'll be some. It's rare for him to take a break, really. Let's be honest. But yeah, he will get one at some points. And you just hope that it isn't just an honorary one, to be honest, because that must be a kick in the balls. You've been nominated 13 times if you end up only walking away with an honorary fucking one.
And fuck me, man. I mean, he's what, like 65 now as well. Yeah. It's like, come on, get him.
But he's still shooting things in a sort of. He has a very definite sort of style to himself, but he still shoots things very much so that you when you watch it, you go, "Oh, this is a Deakins movie," which is a big sort of thing. But he still sort of has a director's influence, I think, on there as well, which is incredible.
No, sorry, I'm just looking at pictures of Roger Deakins now. I didn't realise he was quite as old as he was, bless him. But okay, so best editing again. 3 in a row for Mad Max. Editing, sound mixing.
You can't disagree again. It's amazing. What is kind of staggering is that it won all the technical awards and then didn't win a certain kind of definitive technical award, which is a little bit like, almost like, well, surely the director has something to do with these people either working on it or the way these people work on it. It was a little bit strange.
Yeah, I mean, editing's usually quite the signpost for picture as well.
Well, it was edited by his wife, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. I was reading a lovely quote by him today, actually, where his wife was like, "Why do you want me to shoot this? I don't want to shoot this." And he said, I want you to shoot it because if it's a man, he'll edit it in exactly the same way as all other action films are edited, and I want something different."
Yeah. It's a fantastically put together movie because it doesn't go for jumpy edits and jumpy cuts. It's very smooth and seamless, and the edits pop up, but then when it's got to go fast cutting, it goes fast cutting, but it's not constant all the way through it. It's a really well sort of cut film, to be honest. It really is. It helps add to the pacing of it all.
Now, I mean, on to what might be my big shock of the night.
Which?
Visual effects.
Visual effects.
Who the fuck saw Ex Machina actually winning this?
Well, yeah, and the strange thing is, I liked Ex Machina. I didn't think it was as magnificent as many people said it was, but I liked it. I have no ill feeling towards Ex Machina. But I did, when that came out, I did look at it and go and think, ooh, that feels a little bit out of place with all those movies. And then it won it. So... So yeah, it's. I don't think the effects look that fantastic in that movie. But then again, you're talking about a movie that cost what, 12 million, 12 million, versus, every other movie in that is 100 million plus. So
I think the effect of the robot is one of the best things about that film. I'm not massive on Ex Machina. I like it, and I do want to give it a third go.
I think I need to give it a second go, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I was a bit pissed when I watched it the second time round, and I think that really did appreciably harm it. So I'm willing to write off that watch. But
when I saw it, the first time I saw it in a Screen 3, a really, really, really small cinema. And I'm not exaggerating here. There will be people that have bigger TVs than the screen is in the Screen 3 in the real in York. It's tiny. So maybe if I saw it again, I'd get a different kind of perspective on it.
Fair play. Yeah. I don't know. It's so weird that in a year with Mad Max, The Martian, Star Wars, not so much The Revenant, but that Ex Machina wins that. I mean, good on the effects team, though. I mean, fair fucking play to them.
Yeah, I personally would have given it to Mad Max or The Martian, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
fair play to it, like you say.
Because, I mean, that's the thing with Mad Max. I mean, a shitload of it was done practically, but the amount of work done on the visual effects to make everything else blend in with the practical stuff is very well done. I mean, just like the wire removal and all that kind of shit, the stuff that can't really be seen, it's, yeah, I mean, maybe The Martian as well, in fairness, but I mean, even fucking Star Wars, I mean, BB-8, it's in itself is a hell of an effect. I don't know, I feel like I'm knocking Ex Machina, and maybe I am, just because, aside from Ava, what is there?
That's it, really.
And the other robot, but
it was a strange one. It was a strange one, but a lot of people have a lot of good feeling towards that movie, and I don't have any bad feeling towards it. So, like yourself, you don't have any bad feelings towards it. So, fuck it, why not?
I mean, Vikander staring at herself in the mirror for an uncomfortably long amount of time is a pretty great visual effect.
Yeah,
but I don't know. It's a weird one.
Yeah.
A best animated short. I know nothing about it, in fairness, but fair play. Best animated film. I'm very, very glad Anomalisa didn't sneak in there.
Well, it was always going to be Inside Out.
Yeah, it was.
If Inside Out hadn't worried it, won it,
Yeah.
then if I was DiCaprio, I'd have got up and just fucking walked off then because you knew that the world was about to fucking open.
Yeah.
It was nailed on. It was a bit strange that Woody and Buzz were kind of giving an award to their their makers.
Nice. Was it Tom Hanks and Tim Allen? Was it?
No, it was Woody and Buzz.
What?
Woody and Buzz
What do you mean?
presented that award.
What? How?
It was like essentially like a video thing. So you saw it in video. I'm guessing they saw it. People saw it on the screen. The Minions also presented an award as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anomalisa comes out in the UK in the next couple of weeks. I'm really not looking forward to Twitter in the week it comes out. I just no.
Yeah.
It just that fucking film. If it wasn't Charlie Kaufman, people would be fucking hammering it for it being about white male problems.
Yeah, but like I said, it's similar to the Sacha Baron Cohen thing. He's got a lot of fucking credit and a lot of fucking places, to be honest.
I mean, I'm not going to go on a rant, but there's a 5-star review in Empire this month talking about how it's like the most human and heartfelt film in ages, and it's just it's a bloke who doesn't appreciate anybody around him and fucks a random in a hotel and then starts losing his mind. And he's just a horrible piece of work. And spoiler alert, I don't care. I found it incessantly depressing for an hour and a half.
I will watch it, but I can't say I'm that full. I'll watch it because Becky wants to watch it more than I give a shit, to be honest.
I genuinely don't get why people are loving it in the way they do. The animation is impressive. There's the first 20 minutes or so is somewhat interesting, but then I think I don't.
Once the novelty wears off.
Yeah, I don't get why people seem to think it's such a profound experience, and I watched it very intently and very excitedly, and I don't understand it. Anyway, Shaun the Sheep movie.
Well, yeah, you were a huge fan of that. I've not actually spoken to anybody who read a review of that from anybody that wasn't sort of very taken by it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad Inside Out won. I'm glad Shaun the Sheep was there. Best supporting actor. This is the one
I was angry about this.
It's the one I had money on that actually paid off.
I had money on it, to be honest, on Mark Rylance. I did actually put money on Mark Rylance on that one. I haven't seen Bridge of Spies yet, but what I do know, I haven't seen it, but what I do know is that Mark Rylance is probably fantastic in it because he's Mark Rylance and he's fantastic in everything he ever does. He's a very, very, very good actor.
His performances as Flop in the kids show Bing, mwah.
Yeah, but he's fantastic. He is a great actor, and he was wonderfully erudite when he accepted his speech, and then when he did they have the speech, and then they go somewhere and they talk to them like almost like a mini little press conference. He was incredibly kind of humble there, as you would expect from him. He's that kind of character. But, and this is me with my love for Stallone absolutely fucking laid out there. For a start off, when it was coming out and they were going through the nominees and everything like that, they cut to Stallone, obviously, when they said Sylvester Stallone. And I said to Becky at that point, he's not winning this, and he knows it. He had this look, and he just kind of, he didn't look excited. He looked almost like, I know this isn't happening. Like he knew. He just absolutely knew that it wasn't happening for him with that one award, because he's picked up pretty much everything else. And the reason why I'm a little bit, I feel it disappointed me was, I'm sure Mark Rylance is fantastic in Bridge of Spies. I'm sure he is, and he's an absolutely deserving winner of the Academy Award. I'm sure he will be. I will get around to watching Bridge of Spies because I'm actually quite looking forward to it. But when you take the whole film as a whole, Creed, quite simply, couldn't happen without Stallone. It couldn't happen without Stallone, because he essentially, although he's not the main character, he's the fulcrum behind the entire film. If that film didn't have Rocky in it and was just a Rocky spin-off, no one would give a shit. They wouldn't. It's not wrong to say that. People wouldn't care that as much as they did. And if it was just a boxing movie, again, people won't care. Everything rolls around that. And it's a fantastic performance as well. Stallone is very good. And it kind of almost felt a little bit like Rocky made it 40 years ago. And he's come back round to it. And it almost felt like it was too perfect a moment that he should have won it. And Mark Rylance will go home incredibly happy and everything like with that award, but I think he would have gone home happy anyway, just to have been fucking invited to the party, never mind actually fucking winning it. So that for me was a little bit like, I've been such a Stallone fan for all these years that it felt a little bit like, oh fuck, I was so rooting for you there, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, I was fine with it. Personally, I feel bad for Stallone because, in all fairness, I'd be surprised if he's ever even invited to the Oscars again, let alone nominated. You know, but if we're being truthful about it, but well,
that may have had an influence, maybe.
Yeah, you know, so I don't know. I was fine with Rylance winning. He is very good in Bridge of Spies. I mean, he is very good, but.
His acceptance speech was fantastic as well. Really was.
Yeah, I saw. I saw
the best
that.
Of the night. And apparently he actually apologised to Sylvester Stallone at one point during the evening. I actually went up to him and said, you know, I'm very sorry about that. I do want you to know that I'm rooting for you.
Yeah.
It's quite amusing because it was only ever going to be one of those two that was going to win it. Really, wasn't it? There was, you know,
the others all knew it though.
Yeah, I get the feeling, I said to Becky, I get the feeling that if Tom Hardy had won it, he'd have got really angry that he'd won it. He'd have probably gone, I don't want this. I don't like it. Someone else should have won it. You get the feeling that he would have got quite prickly about it because, well, it's part of the character he is, I suppose. But yeah, it was one of those ones where I'm very glad for Mark Rylance, but I was also gutted for Stallone.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, like some of the nominations this year, it's just like we know Fassbender and Hardy are both winning Oscars within the next 5 years, say.
Oh, absolutely,
it's happening, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel bad for Stallone, but at the same time, he's Stallone. He'll get over it.
Yeah, he's you know, I don't think he will use that as a measure of his success. I think he'd have liked it, but I don't think he's at the level where it's something that obsessively drives him to win an Oscar. I don't think it's something that enters his mind.
No.
If it was, he'd choose very different roles.
Best short documentary. I don't know anything about them. Best documentary. Amy won. I suppose that's not too much of a surprise.
No, not really. No.
Best short film. I know nothing about them. Best foreign language film. It kind of felt like it was always going to be Son of Saul. It feels like the only one anyone was actually talking about.
Yeah.
Best original score. Kind of the same with that as well. To be fair, if it was anybody but Morricone, it would have been surprising.
Yeah, I mean, and he looked genuine. When he was in tears. He was genuinely kind of moved by it. You know, and he'd been nominated a ridiculous amount of times and never won it. So, and it's a fantastic score. It really is a wonderful score and thoroughly deserved for him. Yeah, it was. I mean, I put out a tweet that actually got retweeted 25 times and favorited 100 times.
Oh, yeah,
about. All I put was damn happy about Ennio's The Hateful Eight score. It's fantastic.
Oh, nice, fair play.
So yeah, it's fucking bizarre. Yeah.
Best original song.
Well,
yeah, you got something to say about this. Go on.
I do have something to say about this. Well, for a start off, they only played 3 at it. So why the fuck were 5 nominated if you're only going to actually allow fucking 3? Because it's an absolute kick in the fucking cunt if one of the fucking 2 that wasn't fucking played.
Yeah, they announced that a couple of weeks back and said it was because of time constraints, but it just so happened to be the more famous people.
Yeah, fucking, it's disgraceful that that poodlehead cunt has got an Academy Award nomination that can't even spell his own name.
What, The Weeknd?
Yeah, okay. What a knob. Sam Smith's song "Writing to the Wall" is a terrible song. Everybody seems to accept that it's a terrible song, which is really fucking strange. And then they put Lady Gaga sang "Till It Happens to You" literally before the award was coming out. And do you remember last year when John Legend performed the song from Selma?
And they were almost like, "Here's the Oscar."
And it took the roof off. And we were watching it, and all of us said, "Wow, that was incredible." To the point of where if somebody else won it, they would literally have been rioting, and they would have had to go, "I don't want it. Just give it to Common and John Legend." Yeah. Now, I saw a lot of the Twitter reaction. Have you seen the Lady Gaga performance yet?
No.
Right. It is quite simply a woman pointing at herself for 4 minutes, shouting, "Look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me." It was excruciating to watch. It was embarrassingly... it was icky. Because the message and everything behind it is quite a powerful message, and it's fantastic. You've got these, I think there's 28, rape survivors and abuse survivors all sort of stood behind her, as you've got Lady Gaga playing the piano with one hand and pointing at the audience while shouting all the words to the song. It just felt like she'd just been watching that John Legend performance on repeat going, "I need to up that. I need to make sure everybody's talking about me." And it got to the point of where, when they were announcing the award, I said to Becky, "Do you know what? I wanted that song to win Best Original Song until that performance." I said, "Do you know what? Now I actually want fucking Sam Smith to win an Oscar, just because that was distasteful." I thought how much she just tried. She went too over the top, and then Sam Smith fucking won it, and then acted like a dick.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, it was... Because you watch it, and he's going up there saying, I read a thing about Ian McKellen saying that no openly gay man had ever won an Academy Award. And I was thinking, well, I can think of two just off the top of my head right now without even kind of, delving too fucking deep. And hang on a minute, one of them's engaged to one of your mates, and the other one is somebody you've claimed is one of your idols. So... Sam Smith is a man who has become so wrapped up in his own ego that he said something incredibly stupid to 80 million people.
Yeah. I mean, he later on said as well, like, "Oh, well, there was one before me, was there? Oh, well, two's my lucky number, so whatever." It's like,
nope, it's actually three.
Yeah.
At least. I'm sure there's another one in there that everyone's fucking forgetting. Just like the memorial thing forgot Jeffrey Lewis.
Oh, God.
Yeah, 200 odd acting credits over a 50, 60-year career.
Paul Walker wasn't there either, was he? I mean, I know
it was the year before.
But...
Year before. Paul Walker the year before.
Was he?
Yeah, he died in 2014.
Oh, yeah, of course he did. Was he on it the year before? Was he on it then?
It's 2015, yeah.
Oh, he was. All right.
Yeah.
Oscar. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, fine.
The memorial thing was quite nicely done, actually. That was quite cool. It's weird having Dave Grohl do it, but that was done quite well.
Okay, cool. Was it Bette Midler doing The Wing Beneath My Wings, as it always seems to be?
No, it was Dave Grohl doing Blackbird.
Oh, bloody hell! Oh,
yeah, it was really quite nice, actually. It worked quite well, actually.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
Yeah,
okay, best director. I was convinced it was going to be George Miller. I was absolutely convinced
as well up until Revenant got best cinematography, and at that point it was like, oh, okay, then Miller's not winning best director, is he now? You do feel a little bit. You feel a little bit like I don't think Miller cares. I don't think he gives a shit.
No, I don't think he cares either. But
But I think Inarritu really, he's somebody who really cares. It wouldn't surprise me if on his business card it states how many Oscars he's won. And a bit like when football teams put stars on their badge, I get the feeling there's Oscars along the top of his business card for the, 4 he's won? 5, maybe? 5, is it?
What, Inarritu?
Yeah, he's got 2 for directing, 1 for writing,
screenplay,
2 for best, 1 for best picture. Producing.
So he individually actually won like 3 last year.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
One this year, so he got 4. And I think did he get best foreign language at one point as well? I think so. He's got 5. I think.
I don't know. I think he got. I want to say Beautiful got nominated for best foreign language. I don't think it won though.
Yeah. I think that might right on that one. Yeah. But yeah, it's. I don't know. The thing is, of the year, it's a thoroughly deserved award. But he's going to get nominated again for something, whereas George Miller's unlikely to get nominated again.
Yeah, that was exactly my thinking. Yeah, Inarritu, like, to be fair, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't win anything for a while now, but maybe like 5-10 years he comes out with something and he gets it. You know, it's.
Yeah, I mean, he said, didn't he, on that Directors Roundtable that he's not really used to doing films back-to-back years. Usually he leaves it quite a few years in between his films, and he just produces a few things. So it's quite strange. He made The Revenant, or got The Revenant off the kind of buzz that was already happening with Birdman. That was where he kind of got the money for The Revenant, and this might be the only chance I get to make this movie, I think.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, he was already shooting, but I think they gave him more money after Birdman, like, to be like, look, all right, I can really do this. And I mean, like, to be fair, that flick's made over 300 million worldwide, and considering how much it cost, it actually looks like it is gonna turn a profit, you know, and fair play. But yeah, it's a shame, but hey. Best actress, it was always going to be Brie Larson.
Yeah, it was always going to be Brie Larson on that one. Again, it's a strong category. None of the performances there are bad performances. I haven't seen 45 years, but Shark Raplin's not given a bad performance in 40 odd years, so I can't see her giving one that she gets fucking nominated for. Yeah,
I mean, it's the same with Best Actor as well. I mean, they're barely worth talking about. Like, they were what they were.
Yeah, I mean, it's great for DiCaprio to get that. Essentially, a little bit of that monkey off his back. I think a little bit. I think he was very relieved to win it, and I think it does mean something to him. But I don't think he's obsessively been chasing it as much as people have kind of made out like he has. Have you seen the clip of him getting it engraved?
I saw something about that. What was that about?
Because they have to take it to get essentially the engraved and the plate put on it. And he's sort of, the woman's sort of doing it, and he says, "Oh, do you do this every year?" And she goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "Yeah, I won't know." And then they give him like a care pack, and he goes, "I've got to maintain it and take care of it." And she's like, "Yeah." And he says, "What, like water it and stuff?" And she just starts laughing, and you just look at him going, "Oh God, you are a charming bastard, aren't you? Yeah. You really are." I said last night, you know, he's the kind of guy, you imagine he pisses champagne. That is just how fucking classy DiCaprio is. And it was quite interesting that on Everybody, when the speech got to a certain level, which wasn't very long, the music started. And Inarritu just talked until they stopped. They didn't do it with DiCaprio. It was like somebody went to and they went, "Fucking don't, cut it. If you start playing music on DiCaprio, there could be a riot right now." So it was quite amusing that they didn't bother with DiCaprio. It ain't gonna be his first, let's be honest. But totally. And all this bullshit of, "Oh, it's just a shame this was the film he won it for." No, it's not. It's not a shame that this is the film he fucking won it for.
It's a perfectly decent performance.
Yeah,
you know,
it is.
It's. I mean, like, to be fair, I would have been happy if he won it for Django. You know, I mean, it is what it is. But
I think he should have won it for Wolf. He was never going to win it for Wolf. In the first fucking frame of the first sequence of the film, he snorts coke out of a hooker's ass. He was never going to win it for. It's the same as Fassbender was never going to get nominated for Shame.
No, not quite. I mean, looking at the nominees, though, I mean, like, apart from Fassbender, I kind of think DiCaprio's the one there. I think Fassbender and DiCaprio are pretty tied neck and neck, really, there.
Well,
so.
The thing is, I'd have been, I think DiCaprio was the deserved winner. My second choice after that would have been Matt Damon, closely followed by Fassbender. Again, I've not seen A Danish Girl, but that film's been so badly received that I don't understand how Ray-Ban's got fucking nominated. I think it's just he is just so hot right now. Not anymore. A little bit now. Yeah. He's the sort of guy who, that's his 2 nominations. I could see him never getting nominated again now.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. No, even though he won the Razzie for Jupiter Ascending.
He did. What was great was Bryan Cranston when they cut to him for the little Bryan Cranston trombone, and he just kind of had this grin and was just like, I'm not winning. No, I'm not winning.
Yeah.
And it was so Bryan Cranston because he's an incredibly charismatic guy. It was fantastic. And Matt Damon had the same thing of, we're not winning. Why? It should just all be on DiCaprio.
You'd be so tempted just to get really, really pissed.
Well, I'm pretty sure. Ruffles was pissed. I'm pretty sure he was drunk when it went to him. Matt Damon looked like he had a bit of a buzz on, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, good on him as well. It's like, fuck it. If you don't have to make a speech, you don't actually have to stand up.
Yeah,
what's the fucking harm?
Also, as well, did you see have you seen anything about Chris Rock put out did the Girl Scout cookies thing?
No.
He did like a Girl Scout cookies where he did a big sort of skit with his daughter's Girl Scout cookies team was selling out Girl Scout cookies to the relevant all the people in the audience, and they were buying them. And one of the great ones is DiCaprio buys some. And then there's a thing of him opening it, but he happens to have his tongue stuck out at the time, so he's opening this packet of cookies, just going like that. And it's brilliant. Just Google Oscars DiCaprio cookies. It's fantastic. It's a great picture.
Oscars DiCaprio cookies.
But there was fun moments in it like that.
Images. No, well, I don't know.
I'll see if I can. If you can't find it.
Oh yeah, no, he's kind of got his mouth slightly open, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's gold. Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So it was that. It was. Let's be honest. It was his night. It was DiCaprio's night tonight, and I think he's been so good for 20 odd years that he deserved this night a little bit. That almost seemed, as you were watching it, more important than Best Picture in a way. As weird as it sounds.
Yeah, totally. No, I agree with that. I mean, there you go, Spotlight. I really like Spotlight.
I love Spotlight.
It feels like it's going to be the year that DiCaprio won, and that's it. You know, that really is it.
It's the DiCaprio Awards this year. That's what it was. But the thing is, none of them would have been bad winners for Best Picture. None of them would have been. They'd have all been wonderful winners. I think it would have been really nice if Mad Max won it. I think a lot of people just believe that The Revenant didn't win it over Mad Max and that it was something else won it. That seems to be a little bit of that. The Revenant there seems to be a bit of a backlash towards The Revenant, which is really strange because it's a very good film. But yeah, it was a shame that Mad Max didn't get it. It seemed like a film that so many people had kind of got behind, and it took everyone by surprise how good it actually was, and critically and even commercially. Yes, it didn't make as much as your average Marvel movie, for instance, but it still turned a profit, and it caught a zeitgeist, I think.
I mean, shit, dude, a Mad Max film just won the most Oscars at an Oscar night.
Yeah, it's incredible. It really is incredible. Spotlight. It's strange that Spotlight won two Academy Awards and one of them's Best Picture. That's
really weird to me.
It feels really off center. It's a little bit like, so hang on a minute. It had the best writing, but it didn't have the best acting. It didn't have the best anything technical, but it was the best film.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
does feel a
again,
little bit.
it's the preferential ballot thing, which is
Yeah,
it's the only category where that happens. And I got a feeling that film was an awful lot of number twos and number threes, maybe not that many number
Well,
ones.
that's it. That's it. And you get the feeling that Mad Max might have got more number ones. The Revenant might have got more number ones, but it'll also got more number eights and number nines within that. So that's why you could see out of them. You know, it wouldn't have surprised me if the way that it works, if it was Spotlight, Big Short, and then Revenant or Mad Max within that. You know, because yeah, twos, threes, and fours. You know, they'll have helped.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Sorry, I just had a tweet from Brad saying, when are we recording? And fuck, I feel bad for not getting back to him.
Oh shit, yeah.
But fuck. Anyway, actually, just on the questions as well, just because it's the only other question we had, and it is Oscar-y. The great SD, if you fine fellas were handing out the Oscars this year, who would have got them?
I wouldn't have disagreed too much with the ones that won. Like I say, I think we covered it. I'd have given best cinematography. I'd have given it to Richards just because I did really like the way that I did like the visuals within Hateful Eight.
You see, I would have given it to Ed Lackman for Carol, just because the look of that film is something as memorable to me as the performances, and that's quite striking, I think. And the score, to be fair, like, I would have been really happy if Carter Burwell won. That score is some really nice winter walking music.
It's a lovely score, yeah, it really is.
That film's out on iTunes in a few weeks, and I'm really looking forward to rewatching it. I do like me some Carol, but hey. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm Miller for Mad Max, totally.
Yeah, absolutely, Miller.
I don't begrudge Spotlight, but you know, I mean, no, do you know what? I'm fine with Spotlight. Fuck it. Like, in terms of Oscars, why? I'm just glad Mad Max was at the party.
It was at the party, and it might not have gone home with the prettiest girl, but it went home with the most.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I would say, you know, the one that really did kind of what is it was Stallone. Yeah, that kind of that. I would like to have Stallone to have got it, but that's more because of my adoration for the man, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. It's like all the way along I've been saying this. I've been fine with it this year. Yeah. And it's weird. I think my interest in it has somewhat waned this year, just because I've been like, whatever wins is fine by me. I thought they were pretty much all for the categories I really care about, were all really solid nominations.
Absolutely, yeah. It was a weird year for film, because there was not one singular film where you went, that is the best film of the year, that will win it. There was 3 or 4 that you were looking at going, that could win it, that could win it, that could win it. It was a really solid year for movie. There's no bad year for film, there isn't it? When people say, oh, it was a disappointing year for film, it's like, well, you didn't fucking watch enough then, dickheads. It was a really good year. There was fewer 9 out of 10s and 10s out of 10s, but there was a fucking really high amount of 8 out of 10s.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm looking at the Best Picture list again, and I think it's one of the strongest Best Picture lists in ages.
Yeah, because you could quite easily throw 3 or 4 others at it and say, well, they would have been in perfect company within there.
I think, maybe apart from Brooklyn, I think all of them are in my top 20. And I think if Brooklyn's not, it would be in my top 25.
There's a couple there that won't be mine, but I don't feel anything bad towards.
I will say Saoirse Ronan's going to win in the next few years.
Yes, she will.
You know, like she's had a couple of nominations now, and she's made the transition from child actress to leading actress very, very comfortably. Yeah, and she's gonna have a win in the next few years.
Yeah, absolutely, no question.
Let's do. All right, so.
Oh, we do actually have one of the actual Oscars question. Actually.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
From Dan.
Oh, Mondo Dan. Yes.
Yeah. Says, what was the worst film to have won Best Film at the Oscars in the last 15 years?
Right, Oscar Best Picture list.
Yeah. I know mine straight away. So let's see if yours is the same as yours is the same as mine.
Avatar is coming up.
Didn't win it.
Sorry?
Didn't win it.
Oh, of course it didn't. Of course it fucking didn't. Sorry. Quite right. Right. Bloody hell, come on then. Right, so Spotlight, Birdman, 12 Years a Slave, Argo, The Artist, The King's Speech, The Hurt Locker, Slumdog, No Country, The Departed, Crash, $1 Million Baby, oh god, Lord of the Rings, Chicago, A Beautiful Mind.
King's Speech. It's a fucking ITV drama.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And it's directed by such a fucking Tory as well.
The Kids Are All Right fucking got nominated.
Yeah, it did, yeah. That's a fucking weird one.
God, that actually got nominated for Best Picture. Jesus.
Well, it had certain things.
Oh, then again, 2011, Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close got bloody nominated.
Yeah, a film that got nominated despite the fact that nobody in the world has watched it.
God, that's mental. That is.
It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, for me, it's $1 Million Baby is a rough one, and Crash is a strange one. But yeah, it's The King's Speech. It's a piece of shit as a movie. To be honest, I really, really dislike that movie.
There's some mental nominees looking back, though. I mean, God, 2008. No wonder they were like, we need to get some more blockbusters up in here. Slumdog, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, Frost Nixon, Milk, and The Reader.
Reader, yeah. It's some of the movies are perfectly decent, but it's a weak running list. It's like a list of movies that no one gives a shit about now.
The guy who wrote The Reader, I renewed his car insurance when I was working for the AA, and I took 200 quid off it just because he wrote The Reader. I was like, fuck it, David Hare, I'll take some money off your car insurance.
Why not?
Why the fuck not?
Yeah, so that was a question from Dan there.
Nice. Yeah. Fucking God, Up in the Air got nominated.
Did you?
Seabiscuit got nominated.
Did it?
Back in 2003. God, what else have we got here? The Cider House Rules.
I didn't mind the Cider House Rules. It's a good film.
God, the Full Monty got nominated. Yeah, it did, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
This is very interesting. You know what? I've never seen Quiz Show. I do need to.
Quiz Show's very good.
Yeah, I need
good.
I need to rectify that.
Yeah,
oh God, the Prince of Tides. I thought that said the Prince of Thieves. Then, God, fuck me.
No, that didn't get nominated.
Bloody hell! The Silence of the Lambs, Beauty and the Beast, Bugsy, JFK, and the Prince of Tides. Awakenings got nominated for Best Picture.
Awakenings got about four or five nominations.
A Ghost. Bloody hell! This is mental. Oh, I'm rather enjoying this. Anyway, right, okay, moving on. Let's move on and we'll talk some what we watched. The Forest.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Go on, then. What do you reckon?
It's just bobbins, really, wasn't it? There's not really that much to say about it. It's just...
Shit.
Yeah, I mean,
shit.
Yeah, I don't know. They made Natalie Dormer seem really dull. And, you watch her in Game of Thrones, and it's like, no, how the fuck have you done that?
Yeah, I mean, she's... got a feel for a bless, but it's a bad film. The acting, it's pretty rough. I don't know what she's like in Game of Tits and Death, because I don't watch it. So I don't know whether she's actually very good as an actress or she's just very willing to take her top off. So I've no kind of coming to it within that. I've seen her other things, and she was pretty piss poor in the Hunger Games, but she was quite good in The Counsellor. In that, so I'm not really sure what her acting chops are like, but it's a terribly written movie. Twins can tell when the other one's a lie.
Now,
one twin's got dark hair and the other one's got blonde hair.
But there's a low hum. Yeah. I would like a flashback to the sequence where they realised they could both hear each other, where it's just like, can you hear that? Yeah, I can. Yeah. Mum, can you hear that? No, I can't. Dad, can you hear that? Nope.
The thing is, everything was so fucking phoned in with that movie. Every surprise was like, that's not a surprise. Like the bit where she picks up the image viewer, and she picks up that. I turned around to Becky and said, and in that image viewer is going to be the images of what actually happened to her parents. And Bex just went, yes, it is, isn't it?
Even though I will say, I WhatsApped you and said there was like one.
Was it that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was really pissed off with myself for it actually working.
You should be. Like, it was so fucking ripped off of Sinister, it is untrue.
Yeah, no, totally. I just, that's the thing. I mean, but it wasn't, literally the only reason why it made me jump is because it was loud.
That movie is 93 minutes long, and 92 of them are filler.
Yeah, because I mean the thing is the premise is intriguing enough, and I thought
there's a forest where if people go in it after 40 hours, we just don't bother fucking looking for them.
Yeah,
that sounds like bullshit.
Yeah, I know, but I mean I like the idea of it. But I mean between this and that Sea of Trees, it does kind of seem like we're probably never going to have a film about this forest ever again, but. I like the opening. I at least liked the way that it was kind of cross-cutting between her going to Japan and like you kind of finding out what was actually happening and why she was there. But then you get past that and the guy that she meets and it's like is he a bit dodgy? No.
No, it's not. He's not. She quite literally gets warned that is going to happen. And still doesn't fucking realise.
This is the thing. I mean, for him, right? She accuses him and like attacks him, and then she falls down that hole, and then he finds her, and she's like, it's making me see things that aren't real. And then he's like, okay, I'll get you out, and then 20 minutes later in the film, it's her accusing him and then attacking him. And why doesn't he just say? I mean, first off. He should be calling her out on the humming thing more. But why doesn't he just say, right, calm the fuck down. You've said yourself earlier on, this forest is making you see things. If I wanted you to die, I would have left you in that hole. But no, instead he's like, give me the knife.
Yeah. He acts dodgy. Yeah, he acts dodgy.
That's the thing. And I suppose it is a question of, is he acting dodgy in her head or not? But
the problem is that he's not.
I mean, all the way through, he's not. He wants to, he's interviewing her. He's like, look, I'm going to write this as an article. Straight up. I'm going to help you. But I want to write about this. And then it's, right, you go into the forest and then I'm not going to leave you by yourself. He could have just as easily have fucked off with that other guy.
Mm.
No.
Could have killed her in her sleep.
Yeah. Doesn't do that.
Oh.
He wants to fuck her, but when he tries it on, she backs away.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, then fair enough.
Yeah.
He's a good dude.
He is. He's fine. He's perfectly fine.
And what does he get for his trouble? Gets fucking murdered.
It's stab. Yeah, murder. It's just murder. That's what that is. It's just murder.
Bobbins. I mean, really.
It is absolute bobbins.
But not offensively so. Like, it didn't.
It's not nasty.
No, it's not nasty. It didn't actively piss me off.
No, not me. It just bored me.
Yeah, I just thought, right, okay, fine. So she's seeing all this shit, and we're going to do the bit where she's in the tunnel, and then the bit where it looks like the guy's turning on her, and then we're going to have the twist at the end. And I love the fact as well, it's like, where was the sister? Oh, she got lost.
Yeah. We couldn't think of anything.
I mean, yeah, brilliant.
Oh, we need to go back in, Oh, no, wait, she's dead.
Yeah. And again, it's just like, all right, fine.
Oh, all right. Can you feel it in your twin bones? Yeah. All right. It's shit.
Yeah, yeah, totally. But there you go. I'm glad we had Oscar talk because that's all we would have done.
Because we couldn't have eked out a 20-minute review of that.
No, God no. Right, what else have you got on what you watched, mate? I'll be honest with you, my throat is killing me, so I don't know how much longer I can go.
I've got about another 5, 10 minutes before I have to go anyway. I've got a couple, yeah. Have you got a couple?
Yeah, I mean, let's just ram through them.
Go on then, speed round. Go.
Okay, Clue, for some
Clue.
reason. I don't know why.
You don't have a clue?
It was on Netflix UK. I'd seen it before. It's quite fun. Some of the jokes are pretty outdated. One of the characters, there's like, it's about all the characters being blackmailed, and one of them is played by, I think it's the character played by Michael McKean. He's being blackmailed because he's gay. And it's like, whenever it's mentioned, like, the other guys just back away from him. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ, really? So, yeah, Clue. But it's quite fun. Tim Curry's good value in it. So, it's on Netflix UK. There you go. Done. Spectre. I rewatched Spectre. I still have problems with it, but I think it's a decent action film. That's kind of about it. I have a lot more time for Skyfall and Casino Royale, but I'm still fine with Spectre. If it's going to be Daniel Craig's last one, I'm kind of okay with it being, considering the way he goes out. If they're just going to reboot Bond again, brilliant. Fine. Oh God, there's one other. What the fuck was it? Hang on. No, this is going to annoy me. Fuck.
Open your letterbox.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. Fuck, what else did I watch? Oh, yeah, The Eagle Was Landed.
All right.
Yeah, well, man, I wish I didn't forget that. So it was on Mubi, it expired yesterday, but really, really interesting, this. It's a men on a mission film in World War II, but the men on the mission are Nazis trying to kidnap Winston Churchill. It's like, all right then, what? Michael Caine's a Nazi who conveniently has a perfect British accent, which is great for his infiltrating.
It's a strange movie, isn't it?
I mean, like, the thing is, it's not trying to make you sympathetic towards them at all, but it does kind of say that the boots on the ground guys, you know what? If one of them sees a little girl nearly drowning, he's probably going to try and save that little girl.
Yeah.
The boots on the ground guys were not all Hitler.
Evil bastards.
They were obviously doing very, very, very bad things, but at the same time, there's humanity to them, which I think is quite a brave thing to be saying, frankly. I mean, Jesus Christ, could you imagine, like, I don't know, like the 7/7 attacks from the point of view of, of the terrorists? And I mean, there's no way they'd be able to do that.
No, it's that whole, there's two sides to every story, and not everyone was behind the evil maniacal madman.
Yeah, but I mean, I also
wonder, essentially.
No, absolutely, but maybe the fact that it's a plot to kill Winston Churchill, it obviously doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Like, spoiler alert, it's not Inglourious Bastards.
No, it's not Inglourious Bastards.
But it's interesting seeing how it goes. And Donald Sutherland plays like an IRA-affiliated Irishman with ginger hair who has a relationship with Jenny Agutter. What's not to love? The Eagles Landed. Solid.
That yours. Right, I'll speed round mine. Rewatched Hamburger Hill.
Oh, nice.
It's a great movie. Don Cheadle doesn't look any different, and it's near 30 years old. A very bizarre score from Philip Glass that kind of arrives towards the end, and he's only in it at the end. It's not with the collection of other kind of seminal Vietnam movies, but it is a very, very good and very entertaining and important story, I think, really. Hamburger Hill, it's one I've watched a few times. I watched Brooklyn's Finest. I'd never seen it before, to be honest, the Anton Fuqua one. It's like Richard Gere, weirdly enough. Don Cheadle, Wesley Snipes, and what is it? It's of that kind of ilk of movies. It's 2.5 hours long. It's way too long.
I think I've seen this, but I genuinely can't remember if I definitely have or not.
Of that kind of that sort of mid sort of to late noughties, started with Training Day and recently had 999, but they were all very similar. You had like Street Kings and there's other ones within that. it's nowhere near the level of some of those other ones, to be honest. It's a bit dull. Maze Runner: The Scorch Trials. Watch that. It's way too long. Way too long. It's another one that's 2.5 hours long. Should have been a 90-minute film. There's a decent 90-minute movie in there that's ruined by being 2.5 hours long.
How intense is it for a 12A?
Not that, to be honest.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
No, not that. Don't get me wrong, there's a good movie in it. There's a good movie. There's a good 90-minute, or maybe over 100-minute movie in that. But, yeah, it's too long. It's too long. It's brought down by that, to be honest. And I watched What Doesn't Kill You, a Brian Goodman written and directed movie starring Ruffles and Ethan Hawke, who play small-time crooks in and around a little South Boston town, and they're trying to go straight, but they're not really trying to go straight. It's the weird thing. That's what it's pitching it as, but they're not. None of them are trying to go straight. It's not worth watching. It's on Netflix UK, but I wouldn't rush to it. And I rewatched Black Hat.
Oh, nice.
I really like Black Hat.
Yeah.
I really, really like Black Hat. You mentioned the other day that
there's a director's cut.
The director's cut. I'm very much looking forward to hopefully that arriving somewhere out there. I'd be very surprised if it doesn't end up somewhere, coming out in some format at some point. I really, really like Black Hat. It's very much a Michael Mann film. There are sequences in it that I think are genuinely fantastic. It is not without its issues, don't get me wrong, absolutely. But the sequence along the corridor as they're exiting, you've got the Chinese SWAT team is coming at the guys from that side, and you've got Hemsworth and all his crew coming at them from that side, and yet they managed to get away. It's a fantastic sequence, and then you've got the blowout-esque finale is also very good. It flows a lot better on its second viewing, to be honest. It all has a little bit more kind of symmetry to it, and it feels a lot tighter within it. And I do think that Chris Evans was very good in it, but I really do like Black Hat, to be honest.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I really want to watch the director's cut. I liked Black Hat more than enough, but I'm looking for. I want to like it more.
Yeah, cause there's when you're watching it now, I knew that there's director's cut. I was watching it going, that's in the longer cut, and that's in the longer cut, and that's in the longer cut, and you can tell there's this stuff with Viola Davis and Holt McCartney in there that I'm guessing are in the director's cut.
It's 4 minutes longer, but there are sequences deleted, so
yeah, there's bits come out, and it's completely repolished, I think is what Mann said, hasn't he? So yeah, I would love to see that at some point.
Nice.
That's it for me. Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, so let's get the F out of Dodge then. So. Next week is episode 150, and we're doing a double bill, which
we are, yes,
very, very neatly sums up Dude and a Monkey. I think it's a very appropriate week.
Yes.
What are we doing, Mark?
We're doing London Has Fallen, and we're doing Hail Caesar.
Yes.
So we're doing a Coen kind of homage to Hollywood excess, 50s Hollywood excess. And a movie about stabbing people.
I've got Hail Caesar at 10:30 on Saturday morning. I'm going out with work people on Friday. I'm going to be hungover on Saturday. So what better way to just Coen Brothers and stabbing?
Yeah,
I've got Hail Caesar at 10:30. London Has Fallen at 12:50. Boom.
That's a great day out. I'm doing London Has Fallen on Thursday. Yeah, it comes out on Thursday.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
I'm going to see that on Thursday in the morning, and then I'm going on Sunday morning to see Hail Caesar. So,
beautiful.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to both. In fact, I could go. I mean, if Hail Caesar was on a preview, I'd go and see that on Thursday as well and double bill it on the day. But I don't think it actually comes out till Friday, does it?
It's out Friday. Cool.
Yeah.
So should be a laugh next week, I think.
Yeah. Yes. We'll have more stuff on the YouTube account as well. I'm sure there will be a football thing arrive. I did actually record one for the FA Cup, but then I couldn't get it out in time because of work commitments,
Yeah.
and so it felt a little bit redundant to do it. I was going to do a reactionary piece to the Carling Cup. What is it was my plan?
You don't want to do that.
But I was just too fucking distraught to do it. And I did plan to do it either way. But yeah, I think I completely underestimated how upset I get at these things, which is quite crazy. But yeah, I'm going to do one at some point this week because I've got a bit of time off work, fingers crossed, this week. So I will finally have the website up and running as well.
Ace, good man. And I will have a Let's Forget physical out. There's not been much out the last couple of weeks, so I didn't do one last week, but I will have one this week.
Cool.
Okay, so yeah, let's go. Thank you very much for listening, folks, and watching. We'll speak to you next week, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.